Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here today. Dan, Pat, thank you very much for showing us the opportunity. I'm going to start straight off by introducing the service that Zipcar are launching today, and then come on and put it into a bit of context and say why I think it's so important. We believe that Zipcar Flex is going to take car sharing in London to the next level. Flex is a new one-way drive and drop service which gives Londoners even greater flexibility to get more out of their city and to travel around how they want to. Members can now choose between two options via the same Zipcar app. The original round-trip service, which operates from dedicated on-street car club-only bays all across the city, so Londoners pick up and drop off a Zipcar in the same location. And now, the new Zipcar Flex service, to spontaneously use a car and drive to a destination one way or run an errand, ending their trip by dropping it off in any one of thousands of approved parking bays within the designated zip zone. Thanks to the UK's first combined car club service, Zipcar can now meet more of Londoners' car needs. The existing book ahead guaranteed bay round trip service will be there to meet people's core vehicle needs, with Flex there to cover those more spontaneous moments when they simply need to get from A to B. So where is the service operating? This launch represents only the very beginning of our Flex journey, but it does so in an area of London where we first started and where we already have over 35,000 Zipcar members. The service offers 300 petrol Volkswagen Polos available across a 70-kilometre-squared operating zip zone that includes Wandsworth, Merton, Southwark and Lambeth. We know, though, that for this service to be of real utility, you have to give Londoners the ability to go anywhere within the city that they need to. So that's our aspiration, and one that we hope to achieve by working in partnership with many of the boroughs who are in the room today. What does the service cost? Zipcar already saves our members money, on average £3,500 a year. But we were keen to lower the barriers to entry to car sharing even further, making it accessible to all, and so the benefits versus owning a car become even clearer. Zipcar membership, covering both Flex and round trip, is therefore now free. Paid plans are still there for more frequent users who want to access our lowest rates. For all existing members, Flex is simply a new product added at no additional membership cost. The Flex service costs just 29p a minute, and the round trip service from £3 an hour for cars and £10 an hour for vans. So why do I think that this service is so important? Firstly, it's important because Londoners have been asking for it ever since I got into car sharing. We put our members at the heart of everything that we do, and they couldn't be clearer. In our most recent member survey, 95% of Zipcar members said that they would like the ability to drive and drop. If car sharing is to grow, it has to meet the needs of Londoners and their various trip needs. Only if it can do this can we persuade people away from continuing to own cars or using less sustainable modes. And let's remember what the size of the prize is. Frost & Sullivan's Vision 2020 report identified that by adding new models of car sharing into London, there was potential for just short of 1 million car club members in London alone by 2020, with 80,000 vehicles off the road and 650 million fewer car miles driven. It identified London as one of the very best cities in the world to persuade people out of car ownership because of the wealth of mobility options that exist for Londoners. So there's demand for this service, and it has the potential to accelerate the growth of car clubs very considerably. Secondly, it's important because I believe that we as a city are at a tipping point where we have to change our relationship with the car. And Flex is exactly the kind of innovation that I think we need to help make this happen. We are lucky to live in the most magnificent, vibrant, thriving, melting pot of a city. And the point of us holding today's event here in this iconic building and organising such amazing weather was to highlight the very best of it. But with success and progress comes challenge. And urbanisation is certainly bringing this. What we know and what London has told us in our research was that we have a real problem. Straight on from Londoners being so clear about the things that make London wonderful, the breadth of jobs, the culture, the destinations, over half of respondents rated London's air quality, traffic and congestion as poor. Most worryingly, 57% of people, rising to 65% amongst younger respondents, said that they considered leaving London to live elsewhere in the past 12 months. The reasons given: affordable housing, congestion and air quality. We can justly take pride in London's standing as a youth-focused city that champions emerging trends, creativity and culture. But that standing won't last if the young no longer want to live here. And they were also clear about the future direction for the city. 57% said they expected congestion to get worse. 55% said they expected air quality to get worse. And obviously, as an organisation called Zipcar, we asked them what they felt about the car. The majority of Londoners, 3/4 of them across all age brackets, said that they believe that cars will still be an important means of getting around in 5 years' time. So the problems are clear. The challenge that I'm sure unites all of us in this room is to find solutions. And as we do so, two things for me are most important. First, we see a clear responsibility to be bold and to act fast. If young people no longer want to live in our city, we have a real problem. Housing is an enormous issue and one for others to deal with, but air quality and transport are part of our patch. We take our responsibility to step up to the mark to ensure that the city isn't clogged up by cars and is a livable space where future generations do want to stay. Secondly, we also have to be realistic and look for solutions that actually work on the ground rather than just grabbing headlines. Londoners, whilst they're increasingly aware of the problems that exist around air pollution and congestion, continue to feel that the car, one of the principal sources of these issues, will play a large part in how they get around in the future. A 2 wheels good, 4 wheels bad approach to policy making therefore isn't good enough. So we must act now, and we must have a clear vision of the future role of the car in the city that accounts for this paradox rather than ignores it. In terms of being bold, we as a city are saying the right kinds of things. The Mayor set out an ambitious goal: 80% of trips to be made by walking, cycling and public transport in the next 25 years. Who would argue with that? Except for the fact that we need change to happen now. We do not argue for a second with the need for Crossrail 2, Bakerloo Line extension, or any of the big infrastructure projects. But these will not deliver any benefit for over a decade. If we are really to create healthy streets, we have to get on with changing our relationship with the car now. And we can do it at limited cost and with immediate benefit. But how are we going to do it, given the emphasis that Londoners continue to put on the car? Our view is that whatever debates you want to have about autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles, or even Dan's flying vehicles, the future of vehicles in the city has to be shared. We have an opportunity to capitalise on a broader environment of a greater acceptance for sharing goods and services, to persuade people out of their private cars, with two associated benefits that will be key to the Mayor delivering on his bold words. Firstly, sharing creates space. We know that people sell cars to become car sharers. 10 cars taken off the road for each car club car. If we're going to be bold and to ensure that walking and cycling are safe, pleasant things to do, or that we have streetscape schemes of the like that Dan and Pat highlighted, we have to tackle space inefficiency. And there are not many greater culprits than the space we dedicate to parked cars that sit idle for 95% of the time. What smart city allocates such precious, scarce space to something that inefficient? Secondly, is that sharing creates positive behaviour change. People drive less, walk, cycle, and take public transport more after joining a car club. You are not going to get 80% of trips being made by sustainable modes if everyone has cars sitting outside their houses. When you own a car, you'll always make irrational decisions on how to get around. You've invested in that asset, so you're going to use it. Break that, and we as a city make smarter decisions trip by trip. So let's come back full circle to the service that we're launching today. Creating behaviour change can often be achieved through punitive means: higher prices, greater regulation, etc. Innovations though like Zipcar Flex, when combined with our round-trip service, present a huge opportunity for London. A modern, positive, non-punitive way to meet city dwellers' car needs at a fraction of the social and economic cost of the current model of car ownership. The opportunity to make car sharing the natural, smart choice for a modern, thriving city. We really hope that we can work with all of you here to take this opportunity to redefine the car in London and deliver the end of the car as we know it. Thank you.